like 10 different things this afternoon. Thank Scott. Yeah. Anyway,
Was that the door?
And call this meeting to order. We will go ahead and bypass the Pledge of Allegiance for this meeting, if everyone's okay with that. And call this meeting to order. Let's do a preview of the agenda. We will go ahead and bypass the Pledge of Allegiance for this meeting, if everyone's okay with that. And call this meeting to order. Let's do a preview of the agenda. Go ahead and bypass.
On mine, when it comes to COVID-19 and enrollment, I'm just going to kind of tie all of that together. And then we have Jared here to talk about the building updates, projects up at the base. But our first report is Raquel, and always a pleasure to have Raquel with us. So everything's good to go. Perfect.
And I just want to give a heads up. I apologize if I talk a little weird or different. I have my tonsils out, and so it's not quite ready yet. So I apologize. I'm going to try to speak as little as possible, if that's okay with everybody. But let's move on to the communications reports and presentations. And Raquel, you want to lead us off?
Sure. Can everybody hear me okay? Am I good? Okay. Awesome. Well, as always, thanks guys for having me to let me talk about some things that have been going on. So the first thing I have on my notes for you all is those winter busing forms have been sent out, and the base schools have done a good job of making sure that families have received those and have been reminding families to get those turned back in. So far, I've received about 160 student forms, and they keep rolling in every single day. So what I wanted to let you guys know, I wanted to give you the bus manager's cell phone number. So if a family is calling with any questions or concerns, you can hand out this number as a resource. And of course, always you can send them my way too. But the bus management office number is 701-500-4466. And I'll have that in the notes and I'll send those over. But so far, so good with that. And busing begins on November 2nd this year, the first Monday in November. So that's for our on-basers. And then I wanted to have a reminder that our military family life consultant for the schools is back again this year, Miss Lisa. And she started at the beginning of the school year. So again, that's a resource for families if they need some support. It's free. No notes are kept. So Miss Lisa's embedded in our schools. There's also 2 other child and youth plaques on the installation right now as well, and also a resource. And then besides that, we do have the distance learner grant that's being provided by the Air Force Aid Society. So our K through 12 active duty families that have enrolled into distance learning, there is a $250 one-time grant that's available through the Air Force Aid Society, and their website is afas.org. We're just trying to get that information out because it's just a great, option and a great resource that we have for families. And then I just received, last month, I received our new Air Force scholarship list for the current year. So I've been getting that out on Facebook, and if families can email me to get a copy of that. But again, that's like 3-4 pages long of grants and scholarships that are available. And then my last thing is I was happy to see that Dakota is getting their crosswalks repainted. So they were able to get that through. So that started with woohoo, Jared. Thank you for getting that connected to get us to the right people to get that completed. So I saw that they were over there today. So that's really good news. But that's all I got. If anybody has any questions, just ask away.
Awesome. Thanks, Raquel. Any last questions for her? All right, let's go ahead and move on to the building project update.
Very good. Good afternoon, Ms. President, members of the board. I believe it was a few months ago that probably at the start of the summer, we talked about some summer projects that we were going to try to accomplish, and I'll just give you a brief update on how we progressed. And go ahead and certainly ask questions during or whenever at the end if you like. But it was a busy summer out there. Things went pretty much as planned. And you're welcome, Raquel, for keeping in the right direction. I noticed when I was out there this morning, they still hadn't been done that I noticed. But so they were out doing them this afternoon. You and I talked about that probably 5-6 weeks ago. But that's good that the crosswalks are all squared away. We took care of ours too, that were on our leased property. So over at Memorial, we did some carpeting. We did a few classrooms. We did main office during the safety security project, received about half of an office remodel. And with our new principal there, he's just kind of, with any kind of change of staff, there's new ideas and things like that. And he wanted to kind of repurpose some of the space up in our front office and make it available to people in the school and make it more inviting to parents that come. And so we took care of that area, moved some furniture around, some built-ins, took care of some plumbing issues. We even ran into a little asbestos and squared that away. So things at Memorial progressed, pretty good in my mind. Another thing that we're doing at Memorial, just for a heads up, I guess, is that we've been doing roofing projects out there 2 years ago, this year, and we have another project waiting at Memorial. They were all done at approximately the same time 25 years ago. So we have a project that's been designed, and we have construction documents available. So whenever the decision is made to move forward on that, it'll be ready to go, whether it's next summer, summer after, that type of thing. One thing is we should see a considerable savings. We're going to be able to salvage all of the insulation on that building right now. It meets the tapers that we need, and it's in good enough condition. So all we'll have to do is take off the built-up roof. That'll save considerably on the demolition, on the purchase of new, tapered system. So I'm assuming that project would probably come in less than 50% on the square footage is what Dakota did, which I think was about $18, $19 square foot. But Anyway, moving on over to North Plains, we didn't have a lot planned there. We were going to do some swing sets. Obviously, those got installed. If you go by the schools out there, you can see we have some new swing sets in place. We have a bike rack, big pad that's ready to pour. We're going to be doing that within the next week and a half. There's another, we put in some windows in the gym. They're all in place. And then something unexpected happened right around the 4th of July. 1st of July, we had a lightning strike. There was a lot of lightning storms in June, first part of July. And the building not being completely occupied and not a lot of the systems being used, it took us a little time to figure out there were some issues. And we noticed right away when we couldn't access a certain door at the building. And then after plowing through that, we found out that there was many more things that were affected. So along with some simple things like getting some electric latches to work again, getting some card readers to square away, we went ahead and we checked our servers, we checked our phones, our wireless access points, our clock system, our Johnson Controls HVAC, cameras outside and inside. We had a total of 5 of those that were bad. And, you know, they add up to about almost $6,000 just on the cameras. Not that you want to maybe know what technology, but sometimes the things that we do are very, they're very robust and they're good for long term. We have the same type of servers in every school. 3 of our servers were bad off the get-go, and we had some in stock that we could use, you know, and we actually put those in place, but then we found another one that was bad and we didn't know how far that was going to take us. So we decided we were going to wait until we could get new replacements instead of we thought that we'd just get reimbursed for them. And what we found out is they're not available and the new ones are not compatible with the old. So all 10 had to be replaced. So that was a good chunk of cash, a little over $50,000 just in the servers. But I guess I'm happy to report that everything is back in place. Everything's 100% operational. We're just waiting for our check from the insurance adjuster, expecting a little over $90,000 on that. Over at Dakota, we actually carpeted the main hallways there, put the new roof on. They had swing sets installed. I think we pretty much tidied up all the work out there, and Catherine's pretty much got a smile on her face ear to ear. She thinks that we really took care of her. We try to take care of everybody. And we've got a little bit of concrete that was damaged on the roofing project. We've got some panels that have to be replaced, just some odds and ends that we'll get credited back, and we'll repair those either yet this fall or first thing in the spring. One thing I don't know if you've noticed around Dakota, there's a number of dead trees. These are 50 to 60 foot Lombard poplars. They have a life expectancy of about 40 to 60 years. That school's getting to be that age, but just around the front of the school, east side and west side, we have 8 of them that only stand, just inches away from the building. And I am getting a price on seeing what it costs to take those down. And then obviously there'd be a little bit of expense, not much at all, just for us to get some black dirt put back in once the stumps are ground up. But if you've got some questions for me, I'd certainly try to ask those.
So did you comment on the roofing project?
Oh, yeah, Scott brought up the roofing project. Actually, this morning, Herzog was out there just to tidy up their punch list. So they're 100% complete as of this morning. So I'll just await for their final payment request and their warranty information. And then that project will be done. So we're very pleased with it.
I don't know.
Anything else I could do?
Any other questions? All right, thanks for the update. Let's go ahead and go to the enrollment report.
Okay, if it's okay with you, Madam President, I will tie in my 2 pieces together. Okay, so enrollment reports, we're down 95 students from the same time last year. That is of a concern to us because when we look at our state aid payments, that works out to about $1 million less revenue for next year. We're always paid a year behind. And that will have an impact too, depending on our military dependent students on our impact aid money. So we're just continuing to watch that and to move that forward. Okay, we just lost our screen here. Did you re-log this out too there? So
I can still see you guys.
you can still see. Okay.
Yep, I can see
All
you.
right.
We're in the Google meeting.
Well, no, we're already in there.
Okay, so, oh, just quick,
Can
There,
anybody else see them?
there we are. We're back. Hey, I see all your faces again. So we continue to watch those numbers. What we're seeing is primarily the biggest drops, and it is concerning. But we're seeing primarily some of the biggest drops in our kindergarten class. We had a lot of families decided not to send kindergarten school, kids to school this year, and there's two things that maybe are a bit of concern there. One is that, we worry about those numbers for funding the next year, but we also worry a little bit about that because we could end up with like a super big kindergarten class next year, right? So like our joke is that some of these families are redshirting their kindergartners, and we might end up with really big classes next year. And then that first year, we don't have funding for those kids. So we'll continue to watch that. But in this topsy-turvy world of COVID, if we learn one thing, it's that we roll with the punches. Our numbers and our infection rates in regard to COVID have remained relatively low. We have very few kids that are sick with COVID and staff. We do have a lot of students and staff members that are currently quarantined, meaning that they have been in close proximity or close contact with somebody who has COVID. So we continue to work through those. It has been a big process to work through that, but our teachers and our staff are doing a great job making sure we're trying to keep kids in cohorts. So in the event somebody does test positive, we know how to determine who was in close proximity or is a close contact. Our local health department has been phenomenal, as well as Raquel being on our reintegration team and some folks from the medical squadron out there as well. We are blessed to have people helping us through this process. One of the things Governor Burgum put in place is that he wanted to have assessments done on all students to be the first 4 weeks of school. We are doing that. Starting tomorrow on Minot Air Force Base, we will having our distance learning students come in to Dakota, where they can go through and take the STAR assessment, which is our general assessment that we use. They will be able to come in and they won't be intermixed with other kids. So, it will be a clean environment, and there will be social distancing where they can come in and they can take that assessment. The other end of that is we got a lot of discussion about pictures. What are we going to do for school pictures? And we are now working with our picture providers that we will set up a location where our distance learning students can come in and take advantage of school pictures. And then those schools that do a yearbook or anything, those kids' pictures will all be in. We don't want to do anything to ostracize our families that have chosen distance learning. So we're just going to continue on through that. All in all, we're holding our own. We started out in person. We were the only large Class A school to do so in the state. And that was all based on the science and numbers. And we were very definite about that. We want to keep in school as often as we can. And that has been our goal all the way through. And now other Class A schools in the state are following suit to what we're doing, and they're in the process now of trying to make that happen and to get their students back into school as well. So I am feeling good about where we are at as a district. And hi, Ellen, how are you? Feeling good about where we're at as a district. I think, our goal has been all the way along. We want to base our decision making on facts and not fear. And we continue to work with our health departments on a regular basis and with base medical too, just to kind of monitor where we are at and work through that. And a big shout out to Raquel on that. She has been a great liaison in regard to making those connections and keeping us all talking. So that's really where we're at with enrollment and COVID. If you have any questions, I'm happy to try to answer whatever you might have.
Dr. Vollmer, do you guys, I know with the numbers, there's still a lot of people coming to Minot that have kids. I don't know if you guys can project those numbers, Raquel, if you can project people who are going to be new to Minot that have kids that are going to be enrolling. Anything set up on the back end where we can give Minot public a heads up on that?
If
I
you're
do.
here, it would be wonderful.
I do have those numbers, and if that would be beneficial, I absolutely can coordinate that.
Yeah, I just know with the whole COVID thing, everyone's, PCSs have been, delayed and so forth. So I still know a lot of people that are still coming into Minot, October, November, December, and so forth. That they should have been here in the summer. So I think that might also be a factor too.
Absolutely, and thank you for the heads up on that. So Raquel, whatever you could get to us would be great.
Okay, I can do that.
All right. Any other questions for Dr. Vollmer on that?
Thank you all.
All right, thank you. Let's go ahead and do the approval of the minutes. Do we have time to look those over? All right. And then, do we have a motion to approve?
I'll put a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, roll call, Scott.
Tanner,
I'll approve them, but I just wanted you to know that my name is not spelled correctly at the top. So if you guys need to fix that for clerical reasons, just
I would absolutely love to get that corrected. So could you tell me the spelling?
Branda. The last name is fine.
And Branda.
Okay, yes. And yes, I approve.
I apologize for that. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Bengal,
Yes.
Abner,
Yes.
Reed,
I apologize. I don't actually have anything at all. I don't have any emails or any. I'm not sure what we're approving. So
The minutes, could you call down and talk with Jody in the morning? The secretary here, well, she runs my world. And for whatever reason, we didn't, I don't know if it's just an accessibility thing for first class, but everything should be in your first class folder. But
Okay.
Jody can walk you through that in the morning. So I apologize. We'll get you tomorrow, whatever you need. So.
okay.
Dean,
Yes. All right. Scott, you're up for financial reports.
all right, you should have in front of you the July financial report, which indicates a general fund balance of just under $6.5 million and a slight negative balance in the building fund from our building project this summer. We're doing just fine. Obviously, we haven't spent a lot and we haven't gotten a lot of money in yet. It's early in the year. So as far as bills, you'll see our sanitation with earth recycling. Your district always reimburses this district for a small portion of the business office costs. Doesn't go to one person in particular, it just covers some of the costs of the business office for what we do. Our membership with NAFIS, our fiber connections out there, and then out of the building fund, costs for our engineers, architects on the Dakota roofing project, and also probably the design on the memorial. You can see the total was $45,777.81. Other than that, I don't have anything special to add.
Alrighty. Can we get a motion to approve? To approve those, the financial reports and bills?
I'll put a motion to approve the financial reports and bills.
Second.
Roll call, Scott?
Bengal,
Yes.
Abner,
Yes.
Reed,
We're gonna bypass.
sure. Tanner,
Yes.
Keen,
Yes. All right, any old business? Okay, on to new business.
Madam President, members of the board, we do have one resignation. Danielle Barnack, who was an early childhood teacher out at Dakota. She has moved out of state. We wish her the best. She was a phenomenal teacher, but she did decide to move this summer, and we have hired a replacement. So it's the notification issue that we have a new teacher out there. And again, just a reminder that you as a board do not approve the hire. You contract with Minot Public who hires the teachers. So, but we do have a replacement there, and we wish Danielle the best.
Okay. And then we have the business manager's report.
Okay, again, you should have it in front of you, except, I'm sorry again for this lead that you don't. The 2019-2020 Minot Air Force Base financial report, business manager's report that has to be filed with the North Dakota Department of Public Instruction by October the 15th, I think, this year. So I'm just going to briefly touch on some highlights. You know, as a non-operating district, there's very little action here, but if you turn to page 2, you'd see our beginning balance was 7.4 million. We had revenue of 8.1 and expenditures of 9 million, and ended the year with 6.5. And majority of that spend down was from obviously our capital projects, you know, the roof and some other things that we've done out there. Other than that, you know, there isn't a lot to report on this one because our costs basically go to some operation and maintenance stuff, but it's mostly the purchase services of Minot Public Schools. Number one, providing educational services, so you pay tuition to this district. There really is nothing else really to point out. This document, during our August audit, was part of that. You know, they will review all the information on here to verify its accuracy as it's reported to the Department of Public Instruction, and you'll get copies of our audit report sometime in December, January, that range. So this document is part of what they look at. It goes to the state. We do need a board motion approving it though, so that we have it on record that the board has reviewed it. It's more of a housekeeping thing than anything.
All right, do I have a motion to approve the business manager's report?
I move to approve the Air Force Base financial report.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Tanner,
Yes.
Bengal,
Yes.
Abner,
Yes.
Reed, and Keen.
Yes. All right, good deal. Okay, on to announcements.
Yeah, North Dakota School Boards Association is they're having their fall conference this fall. We're going to need you to let Jody in my office know, and again, 857-4422. It is virtual, and it's the new member seminar. If you have not yet been to a new member seminar, that is on October 9th from 9 to 1, and that is a required event. That being said, they don't take away your birthday if you don't go, but it is a phenomenal opportunity to learn a little bit about boardsmanship and how all of that works in the grand scheme of school boards throughout the state. So if at all possible, we really would like you to take part in that, and the whole convention, as a matter of fact, which will be virtual. But if you haven't got information from Jody, reach out to her, and her office number is 857-4422. So
And let her know if you're going to attend.
let her know if you're going to attend on that. So Also, NAPUS is next week, and NAPUS again is virtual. It's kind of ironic. I look at Lauren there on the screen, and we just found out like hours before we were supposed to go to the spring conference last year that it was canceled. And this year now, the fall is going to be virtual. And that is, if there's information on that and you want to take part in that, again, let Jody know on that, and we can get you the login and information. I am representing Region 5 on the Military Impact Schools Association board now. So it is a great conference, especially the Sunday session, I believe, and we'll get that information. It has the basics of Impact Aid, where they go through and explain a little bit about how all of that works. And we can go through that sometime with you as well. That is all I have for announcements. So,
Do you mind if I take over for a minute?
No, hi, Jim.
Madam Chair, hi. Just want to invite you to come to the North Dakota School Boards Association convention. And as Dr. Vollmer shared, please contact Jody. The other thing is my name will be up once again for the Northwest Board of Directors. And as of right now, I'm still running unopposed, but would still appreciate your vote. And if, since it's virtual, look at the schedule, come in when you can on it, and partake in what works for you. And I realize y'all have busy schedules, but if there's certain parts you can join in on, I think it'd be worth your time, and it'd be great to have you aboard. So hopefully you can fit it into your schedule. And that's it. I appreciate your vote. So I'm doing a little PR in here too while I'm at it. So,
Hey,
nice to see you all, though.
good to see you, Jim.
okay, Madam President, that's all we have. So,
right.
your turn.
All right, good deal. Meeting is adjourned.
All right, thank you all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.